12,000 years ago, dinner was a team sport. Move quietly, stay downwind, get close enough, and don't make a sound. That sound was Pip's stomach. For you, a bad stomach day is embarrassing. For most of human history, it was one of the deadliest things that could happen to a person. No pharmacy, no plumbing, no idea what a germ was. So what did ancient humans actually do when they had diarrhea? Here's the part nobody tells you. The illness itself usually wasn't what killed you. The killer was dehydration. In a severe case, your body can lose more than a liter of fluid in a single hour. Lose enough, and your heart simply runs out of anything to pump. And history set a cruel trap. The dirty water that made you sick was usually the only water you had. Every sip that was supposed to save you could reinfect you. Round and round it went. Nowhere was it deadlier than in armies. Pack thousands of men into a camp, share one bad water source, and wait. For most of military history, disease killed more soldiers than enemy weapons did, and leading that grim parade was dysentery, the bloody flux. In the American Civil War, roughly 2 out of every 3 deaths came from disease, not battle. Union records alone logged over 1.5 million cases of diarrhea and dysentery, and it didn't check for crowns. Henry V of England, the victor of Agen Court, the most feared warrior king in Europe, died in France at 35, almost certainly of dysentery caught while besieging a fortress. During that siege, an estimated 1 in 16 of his soldiers died the same way. The king went out like his infantry, not by the sword, by the camp water. So what did people do about it? Everything. Some of it clever, some of it useless, some of it actively homicidal. Pip, the table, please. Ancient Egypt, 3,500 years ago. The Aybers Papyrus, a medical scroll with around 700 remedies, treated the gut with soothing mixtures built on milk, honey, and water. Gentle, harmless. Honestly? Not bad, Egypt. The Greeks bet everything on diet. Physicians in the Hippocratic tradition swore by tisane, strained barley water, and wrote about it with the loving detail most people reserve for poetry. If you were ever handed plain, starchy, boring food when you were sick, congratulations. That's 24 centuries of continuous medical tradition, and it still works as comfort care. Then there's the remedy that sounds completely insane, and genuinely did something. Eating clay. Cultures on nearly every continent did it. And certain clays, like Kai Ulin, really do bind water and toxins in the gut. It was dirt. That worked. One catch, wild clay can come with lead and parasites. Ancient people weren't wrong. They were just playing gut health roulette. The strongest medicine of all? Opium. Dissolved in wine, it became laudanum. And for centuries it was the most effective anti-diarrheal on earth because opioids slow the gut down. Here's the uncomfortable echo. The little anti-diarrheal pill in your drugstore today works on the exact same gut receptors. It's an opioid too. It just stays in your intestines and never reaches your brain. Same trick, better safety rail, and then Europe went the other way. Under humoral medicine, the treatment for the bloody flux was to drain the patient. Bloodletting, purging, blistering. Take a body that's already losing fluid at record speed and remove more fluid. It is genuinely hard to design a worse treatment on purpose. Which brings us to the 2 best punchlines in this entire story. Punchline 1, in 1936, somebody bottled the caveman remedy. K.O. pec tight. K.O. as in K-lean. Clay plus pectin on American drugstore shelves for decades. It only lost the clay in the early 2000s when the formula was finally swapped for something newer. Prehistoric medicine. Aisle 5, punchline 2 is bigger. The real cure for history's deadliest everyday illness didn't arrive until the 1960s. Out of cholera research in Dahu and Calcutta, it wasn't a machine, it wasn't a miracle drug. It was a recipe: clean water, salt, and sugar. In the right ratio, the sugar actively drags the salt across the intestinal wall, and the water follows, even in a gut that's failing. When IV fluids ran out during a refugee crisis in 1971, doctors held off cholera with this drink, mixed in buckets. The Lancet later called the science behind it potentially the most important medical advance of this century. It's credited with saving an estimated 50 million lives. 50 million. From a kitchen recipe, and the story isn't finished. Diarrheal disease is still one of the leading killers of children under 5 in the world today. The cure costs pennies. Getting it to everyone is the part humanity is still working on. Back at the hunt, things are going better this time. Stomach, quiet. Dinner, acquired. And in Pip's cup, water, a pinch of salt, a spoonful of sugar, 12,000 years of medical history. And the best answer we ever found looks like lemonade that forgot the lemon. If you like history that answers the questions nobody admits to asking, subscribe. Pip's got more.